Cake Adjacent Podcast, a once-a-weekish update on all things food, family, community, gardening, whatever. We call it SideCar. If it has to do with the rituals around food and holidays, making food or taking it places, or remembering what we were eating during important times in our lives, we'll talk about it here. I am your host and bestie, Jen Coleslaw, coming to you from the stormy, thundery, rainy, and sloppy suburbs of Northern Virginia. Hello, friends. Welcome to April. I hope you all did your rabbits because, oh my God, March and February and January, to be honest, were such terrible months. I have to think that the rabbits were completely off kilter. I'm going to try to keep this all good news. That's all written all in caps in my notes. All good news. Because to continue to sit in my feelings is not going to help me move through them. So here's the deal. Whatever we're going through right now, either collectively or individually, it's going to pass, fingers and paws crossed, when we have the solar eclipse. I've decided that. That's my prediction and my hope. So don't look directly at the sun. Get those funky little glasses. Anyway, first up in good news. Spring farmers markets start around here this weekend, and there is some indication that there may be strawberries. There were actually some this weekend, and maybe they were from the greenhouse, but I don't even care. But I did not go out last weekend, but I will go out this weekend, and even if there are no strawberries, I will celebrate farmers market season. Other things I'm expected to see at the farmer's market would be fresh salad greens, maybe some early beets and radishes, although it might be a little too early for that, you never know. Some plant starts. Spoiler alert, I already got some tomatoes and pepper plants, and they're in the greenhouse bulking up. And maybe some hardy herbs like lemon balm and sage, because I actually need a metric ton of sage these days. Maybe some perennial flowers, and of course there will be the usual baked goods and dairy products and kettle corn and all-natural bath bombs and honey, and oh my God, garlic whip. We have not had that in a while. With fresh naan that's baked, like that morning. Definitely get some garlic whip, which is like hummus, but it's just made with garlic. Anyway, I'm very excited, and I am feeding my joy just thinking about getting back to the farmers markets. Other things that are going on. The owls are back. I've been hearing them in the morning, and Ben is hearing them, and Sarah, our neighbor, is also hearing them, and the three of us love those damn owls so much. We are all struggling in our own ways, but the owls are here. And I hear tell that the hummingbirds will be here soon, so it's time to get the hummingbird feeder cleaned up and put outside. I think I told you that we took the pool apart because it had reached the end of its natural life, and we were looking at replacing it with another above-ground pool, but we really have to build a ramp so that Rufus can get in it. And I will say that I like how big and open the yard is without the pool, but I'm not sure I can live without the pool as a place to cool off. And I will say that there are cats on the bed, so there's going to be all kinds of little noises in the podcast today because Clown Shoes, Laddie Marmalade, and Blueberry are all in the room that I am recording in. So you may get a little cameo. Let's see, what else do I have to share that's good news? Oh, next week I am reading Earth Day books to a bunch of toddlers and preschoolers, and when I did that in January, I had such a good time, and I can't believe I didn't get sick, which I think is sort of magical. Can you hear that purring? That's Laddie Marmalade. Which reminds me, if you're local and you want to come out and meet me at our Earth Day event, which is on the 28th of April in Herndon, please do. I'd love to see you. You can ping me for the details. Can you hear that cat purring? He is literally purring into the microphone. And so this isn't really good news, but it's something that I've been thinking about for quite a bit of the last month, and that was what was up with Kate Middleton. And not because I have any great affection for her, because I don't, or because I have any kind of loyalty to the royalty, because I don't. But because the British monarchy as an institution has a way of just wrecking the women in that family, and I was worried for her. And we were right to be worried for her because she's clearly sick. And while she's sick, the institution threw her under the bus with that stupid Mother's Day picture thing. And it's probably because I'm feeling hypersensitive about things happening in my own life these days where I have little control over things that affect me directly. And I'm responsible for not just me and my work and my future and my reputation, but other people's work and their future and their reputation that are in my orbit. And and other people's poor decision making has been like a grenade in a foxhole for me lately. And I'm finding that as I get older and I go through more life-changing events, that I have less and less patience for people who look for like weaknesses and try to exploit them in order to get the easy win. And if you're wondering why this is all so cryptic, well, keep wondering. If you were a Patreon, you'd actually know, but I can't really make it a big public thing. So anyway, so it is the beginning of the month of April and there's food holidays to list. So let's just cut out this serious stuff, make it short, and let's just talk about food stuff. April is National Florida Tomato Month. And this is a month I can really get behind because it is very specific to a region. Like it's absolutely, April is a terrific month for tomatoes in Florida. I approve of this holiday. It's also National Food Month, which is woefully vague. And I guess that means we can just pick what we want since all the month-long foods are kind of slim pickings. So I'm just going to pick a few things to be all April, all month. And they are as follows. National Early Strawberry Month. I think that's a given. National Get Your Garden Going Month. Kind of like that one. I like I like the alliteration there. How many jelly beans can you stuff in your mouth at one time month? Egg salad sandwich made with Easter eggs month. And opening day at Fenway Park month with hot dogs cooked in beer month. Yeah, there's too many months in that one. I did not proofread that one. Opening day at Fenway Park with hot dogs cooked in beer month. That sounds better. It is also National Soft Pretzel Month, which is fine, and National Soy Food Month, which is boring. And the first month of April is National Bake Week. Again, so vague. Why is April so vague and boring? It is such an awesome month. Usually Earth Day is in April, and Arbor Day is in April, and for people who partake, 420 is in April, and there's all kinds of birthdays in April, and it's spring, and there's Easter and Passover, and the end of Ramadan. Eid is usually not always in April. Everything sort of depends on the calendar and moons and stuff. But anyway, there's all kinds of things that happen in April. I don't understand why there's such shitty month-long holidays. But anyway, Wednesday, which is today, April 3rd, is National Chocolate Mousse Day, which of course is really just fancy chocolate pudding, and that's fine. I love it. But here's the thing. It is also Fish Fingers, which in the U.S. we call fish sticks, and Custard Day. Now you're wondering, like, what is Fish Fingers and Custard Day? But if you are a Doctor Who fan, you know exactly what this means. And lucky for you, if you're not a Doctor Who fan, you're going to find out right now. Because I will never pass up an opportunity to talk about Doctor Who. So the Doctor is a human-looking alien with 2 hearts who regenerates upon occasion. Technically, he's supposed to only regenerate 12 times, but, because the series has gone so well, they've clearly rewritten some of the time shift continuum so that he can continue to regenerate. But anyway, he regenerates, and when he regenerates, he doesn't know who he or she is when they regenerate. What do they look like? Are they male or female? What does their voice sound like? What does their hair look like? What do they like to eat? And on this day in 2012, the episode where the 12th Doctor, who was my favorite Doctor, by the way, played by Matt Smith, regenerated, and he crashed his TARDIS in Amy Pond's aunt's yard, and he directed a young Amelia Pond, who would become his companion, and she was probably my favorite companion as well, to bring him all kinds of things to try to see what he liked as his new regenerated self. And one of those things was fish fingers and custard. So he would dip the fish sticks into the pudding and eat it, and he actually loved it. And if you don't think you're going to like Doctor Who because it's all science fiction-y, timey-wimey stuff, you could not be further from the truth. The writing is super smart, and it's thoughtful, and they tackle all kinds of stories and issues from the past and into the future. And I have 3 words for you: Vincent and the Doctor. Wait, that's 4 words. Anyway, Doctor Who fans are sobbing already, and I'll say no more. But we could totally set up a watch party. Oh, it's also don't go to work unless it's fun day. And I know that this seems like a silly day, but here's the thing. Work is a means to a paycheck. Yes, you can get all kinds of personal satisfaction from your work, and I hope that you do, but it's okay if you don't. It's okay if you are working so that you can pay your rent and groceries and have a life outside of work that brings you joy. Life is finite. We should be able to enjoy it, and if work life isn't fun, then either change your relationship to it or change your job. I know, easier said than done, right? We'll keep working on that while Laddie Marmalade tries to climb up the door. Okay, Thursday, the 4th of April, is National Cordon Bleu Day, which is a chicken breast which is pounded super thin, and then it's rolled up with slices of cheese and ham, and the cheese is usually Swiss, and then it's dredged in milk and egg and topped with breadcrumbs, and then it's either deep fried or baked. Now, I think I've only ever had it baked, but originally it was fried. Its origins come from Switzerland and have a kind of schnitzel foundation, a schnitzel being a piece of meat that's pounded super thin, breaded, and then fried. It's also National Burrito Day. And I have to say that there are no better burritos than the ones that Ben makes here at home. And it's at International Carrot Day. So I hope that all of those Keys carrot hounds down at the Golden Ratio compound are celebrating big. Which reminds me, I have a carrot cake in the fridge from Easter that I haven't eaten yet, and I probably should eat it. My appetite has been nowhere recently, and I will never understand people who stress eat because I absolutely stress starve. Anywho, it is also Vitamin C Day, and I feel like I need to remind you that we are nearing the end of sumo citrus season. So either go buy a bunch or start thinking about other vitamin C fruits so that you don't get scurvy. It's also World Rat Day, but I don't think I need to tell you that rats are not a significant source of vitamin C. Friday, April 15th is kind of a big day for me, but I'm not going to tell you why because it's a whole thing and there are lawyers. But I hope that you will think of me on this day and send me some good vibes because it will be kind of a hard day and I will absolutely get over it, but it'll be temporarily painful, but you know me and my need to belong, and let's just say it has to do with that. Also, it is Caramel Day, and I never know whether I should pronounce it caramel or caramel. But as an aside, the ice cream place that I like here in town called Nathan's Dairy Bar has this new thing called ice cream nachos, where you can get a cup of broken waffle cone pieces with soft serve ice cream on top, and then any kind of bunches of toppers like nuts or M&Ms or other little crunchy candy bits that normally they would mix in, and then either hot fudge or caramel sauce on top. Which sounds pretty good. I might have to do that this weekend when the weather gets better. It's also National Raisin and Spice Bar Day, which I'm pretty sure is the same thing as Hermit's, which I just love, but I'll be damned if I've had a good one since I left Providence. Hermit's are large, soft cookies. They're square or kind of rectangular. They're bar-shaped. They're dark brown because they're made with molasses, and they have raisins in them. And they are so good with a cup of tea in the afternoon. I really need to find a good recipe. It's also National Dandelion Day. And dandelions are important weeds because they are some of the first sources of food for pollinators like bees and butterflies. And since we're beekeepers, we don't treat our lawn with anything. But if you have a neurotic spouse who is a lawn freak, At least wait until other things are blooming before you treat your lawn with herbicide. You want to give the beneficial insects a few weeks of clover and dandelion and other flowering things like henbit and dead nettle so that they can get a good, healthy head start. Now, Saturday is a big day because it's caramel or caramel corn day, and our friends at Garrett's, where we all love to get our big tins of popcorn, is having some kind of sale to celebrate. And I don't have a code or anything, but I'm pretty sure if you just go to their website right now, you can take advantage of the sale. Their caramel corn is the best ever. And I mean, all their popcorn is good, but the caramel corn is really the best. Normally, I would have ordered some myself to celebrate, but as I mentioned earlier, I just haven't been feeling up to eating things, but I promise I will start eating again. Speaking of eating, it is National Siamese Cat Day, and let me tell you that one Mr. Blueberry is eating us out of house and home. He's huge. He must weigh 16, 18 pounds by now. I should check his paperwork because I suspect his birthday is coming up as well. I think he's got some sort of like exotic cat in him besides just being Siamese mix because he's so big. Anyway, with his birthday coming up, I should find out what the date is and we should totally celebrate it. And finally, Sunday, the 7th of April, the day before the eclipse, which is going to turn all of our luck around and maybe get my appetite back, is National Coffee Cake Day. And I actually have two really good coffee cake recipes. One is a very standard sour cream or vanilla yogurt coffee cake with walnuts with a cinnamon swirl. That's so good. It was my Auntie Ethel's recipe. And then another recipe, which is peach and blueberry coffee cake with Greek yogurt, which is so good. But I only usually make that when peaches are in season. You can kind of get away with blueberries from Chile or wherever blueberries come from when they're not locally in season. But I really don't think I can get away with rock hard peaches. But anyway, Monday is Eclipse Day, and it's also Empanada Day. But just as important, but not for eating, it is Pygmy Hippo Day. So happy Pygmy Hippo Day to all of my friends at all of the zoos around the world. Now, as you know, Fatness is an emotional support hippo. She's not a pygmy hippo. But, I'm sure that we'll have cake or something. We'll celebrate anyway. Okay, friends, I know this is a shorty, but I want to keep it positive. That's the food holidays for the week. Here's a little preview of next week's food holidays in case I don't get another podcast up this weekend. Here's some things you can look forward to next week. National Cheese Fondue Day, Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, National Licorice Day. I love licorice, by the way. I know that I am probably in the minority. I know a lot of people don't like licorice. I will eat all your licorice, not a pervy euphemism. National Peach Cobbler Day. No, it's not because peaches aren't in season. National Eggs Benedict Day. Big fan. Love hollandaise sauce. I could probably drink it by the quart. Day of the Mushroom, April 16th. Wild. National Cheese Ball Day and Animal Crackers Day. So make a note. Thank you for supporting the podcast by sharing it with your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers and your book club gatherers and the people that you meet at the transfer station when you're sorting your recycling. You can also rate and review the podcast, which helps move it up in the ranks and gets it to be recommended to other people. And you can join the Patreon for behind-the-scenes pictures, occasional poetry, secret news that I can't say on the podcast, and recipes by going to patreon.com/2chocolatekes. So, as you know, when I'm driving to work or I'm going somewhere and I'm feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders or I'm worried about somebody, I use that time to think about sending my energy to some people, to a person, to wherever it needs to go. And lately I've been signing off with a list of people that need our energy. And so here's my list. If you want to share some good energy or vibes or prayers, if that's your thing, if you have any extra to spare. On my list, I've got Mom, Ryan, Fred, Ella, Bob, Pete, and Chris. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. And until then, consider this. If there is an urgent care for hurt feelings, is it either the garden center or is it the bakery? See you soon.